Hi guys, welcome to Blackness Castle. The barony of Blackness was held in the mid-1400s by Sir George Crichton. He was Lord High Admiral of Scotland, Sheriff of Linlithgow, and later on Earl of Caithness. The Crichtons were one of the most powerful political families of the time and were close to James II. George Crichton was governor of Stirling Castle when the king murdered the 8th Earl of Douglas there in 1452. Crichton's cousin William was the Chancellor of Scotland from 1439 to 1453. Blackness Castle was built around 1444 during a time of feuding between the Crichtons and the Black Douglases, which resulted in the destruction of Crichton's Tower in Barnton in Edinburgh in 1444. Blackness Castle is first mentioned in 1449 as a state prison as well as the Crichton residence. George Crichton's son, James, had his father imprisoned in this very castle. James was a deposed heir and captured the castle and briefly held it against the king in 1453, after his father George gave the castle and Crichton lands to the king. The king besieged the castle and recaptured it later that year. Blackness then became a royal fortress as well as continuing to be a prison. James IV came to Blackness on the 11th of July 1506 after visiting the Isle of May, sailing on a ship called the Lion. He was welcomed by 4 shwam players. In 1512, 2 ships called the Great Michael and the Margaret came to Blackness, where James IV boarded on St Andrew's Day to hold an audience with the French ambassador Charles de Toc, where the old alliance of Scotland and France was confirmed. Between 1534 and 1540, a programme of fortification was carried out under the direction of Sir James Finnart. Finnart was an expert in artillery fortification, having spent time in Europe studying the subject. At Blackness, he introduced technological innovations, including a complex entrance with a caponniere, which was a passage inside the external walls of the entrance so defenders could fire upon any attackers entering the castle. Blackness is one of only 3 castles in Scotland that have the surviving caponniere. He also had the curtain wall thickened on the inside to the south and east from 1.5 metres to 5 metres, and gun ports were opened up. The south wall was also heightened to enclose the new south tower. During the Scottish Reformation, the castle was surrendered by negotiation to James Hamilton. 2 English captains, Dethick and Wood, took possession on Easter Day, 15th of April, 1560. During the Marianne Civil War, which followed the forced abdication of Mary Queen of Scots in 1567, the garrison of Blackness remained loyal to her. The castle defences were tested in 1650 when Oliver Cromwell's army besieged Blackness. Military and artillery advances by this time meant that Finnart's defences could not withstand the attack, and the castle was quickly surrendered. The castle was again repaired in 1667 and once again used as a prison. After the union of Scotland and England in 1707, the castle ceased to be a prison, instead being one of 4 castles to be maintained and garrisoned by the British Army. The other three were Dumbarton, Stirling and Edinburgh castles. In 1870, Blackness became an ammunition depot for Scotland. The defensive ditch was filled in and barracks and officers' quarters were built. The cast iron pier was added in 1868 with a gate and a drawbridge. The ammunition depot was closed in 1912, however the castle was briefly occupied again during the First World War. Various movies were filmed here, and they include Hamlet from 1990, The Bruce in 1996, and Doomsday in 2008. The series Ivanhoe was also filmed here in 1997. Blackness Castle was also used as a backdrop of Fort William in the Outlander series. It was the scene for the whipping Jamie received while a prisoner.